Hello, 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 hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, y'all. So it's been a whole bunch of shit going on. Y'all ain't learned to stop playing with that damn Dark Night of the Soul shit yet. That's the same as a truth spell. Don't matter what the name of it is, the effects are still the same. But that, and then on top of that, child, we for the first time in a really long time, we ain't had no planets in retrograde. It has been a very long time. That's probably why some of us are having some memories resurface from the last time that it was no planets in retrograde. Oh, it ain't got nothing to do with throwing magic. It got everything to do with what you did outside of that led up to you throwing the magic. So there's that portion. Outside of that, let's see. I've been getting a lot of different little downloads. I've been posting the songs, so if you haven't been listening to the songs, it is what it is. They have their own meanings. Please, please, please do not make everything about you. In particular, be mindful that it is a humanitarian views said. All right. So that being said, of course, not all readings are gonna resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. That is okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you. All right, Sphinx. Hi, Sphinx. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing all right, sweetheart. Oh my goodness. Oh, is this about the teacher's pet situations? Oh, in classrooms. Okay, so pay attention to what it is that constitutes as a teacher's pet, which leads me to a download that I didn't get to post. How many people like extra credit? It's about the extra credit acceptance, either to raise your grade or just because you ain't got nothing else to do and you like the assignment. Basically, is what, or you like that class, you like that subject, you like that topic. Oh my goodness. All right. So, independent, healthy boundaries, death, and the ringmaster scrutiny, discernment, clear vision, and details. We kicking it off with the wisdoms first, y'all. Some of the other things it is that will be going on is some of the manifestations from the Journey of Love, the Conjure deck. So the Appalachians. Who else? Who else did we see? Saturnalians. We seeing some of the Martians, the competitors. Pay attention in regards to what constitutes as competition versus just a person setting themselves apart. In competition, you looking at what the other person is doing and setting yourself apart. You paying attention to how you can individually make yourself better. Hope that helps. All right. Oh, what I will say is before I kick into this a little bit further, the parade of the planets then broke down to where they about to start dancing. So pay attention to that. They about to start dancing. It's not anything retrograde, but they are like doing the conjunction and trine and all that other stuff. I don't know that portion all that well, y'all. I haven't had the opportunity to study due to some malfunctions that have been trying to glitch the system unnecessarily so because they were told to stop and they are not ghosts in the system. I think that's one of the other things that you need to pay attention to what is a ghost in the system versus what isn't, because that whole Mr. Anderson, Mr. Smith, the whole agent aspect, it's been coming up a whole lot. Now, in regards to the whole agent aspect, that's going to speak to a few different spaces. For some, it's going to be about the agency that you with and the bidding and things of that nature that would have come into place with in that agency. And if you're a free agent, that goes for a lot of different terms and terminologies, and apply it where it's necessary. So it's that part. The other portion of it, uh, with the whole ghost in the system aspect, if it or they are a physical manifestation with the same name, it does not constitute as a ghost in the system. It constitutes as a completely different pathway that that person would be on. So paying attention to that as well. Some of the other stuff. Yeah, because now all of them coming. I had to open up the file, y'all. My bad. I had to open up the file in my head. Okay, some of them gonna be coming out during this reading. But understanding the wisdom that comes when one doesn't have boundaries versus when one does. Some of that, yeah, because I've been seeing that manifest in the military aspect, so to speak, and yeah, because on that part, it will be some private agreements that would have been going on that allow for them to come through. Huh? Oh yeah. Okay, so part of it'll be because of the general readings. It would have been some contracts and shit that would have came into place, which makes a lot of sense. Cause I mean, shit, America does owe China a hell of a lot of fucking money, and with all this unnecessary stuff, yeah, y'all need to learn how to use y'all motherfucking words. Y'all suck. Y'all don't use y'all words enough. You throw temper tantrums and you too damn old and grown for that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like I ain't even gonna lie. When it comes to the political aspect, and y'all know I don't deal with the political aspect for real. When it comes to the political aspect, y'all looking like a bunch of little badass kids running around on the playground, unsupervised. It's just ridiculous, ridiculous. I tell you. So there's that portion. The other part of it, now, cause what we would be feeling, yeah, cause now I'm seeing the whole hierophant aspect of it. Well, what it looks like is the lack of respect that was held from the last one to the next one. This always happens whenever there's a change in power anyway though. Yeah, I mean it's certain things that should or would be valid and validated, but just because it's validated doesn't mean you dishonor or disrespect or demonize the one that isn't held in regard as much. Like that whole shift from Mary to Jesus, it's supposed to be a partnership situation in regards to that. I'm speaking on the Catholic aspect that I see. I'm not talking about the African portion with Horus and Osiris and all that. I'm not talking about that part. Okay, that's something else for something different. Okay, now if that information is included and known, then okay, you might need to pay attention to that model and how, yeah, how is it's all of them. It's not one or the other. I think that's the problem that a lot of people keep having with things. Yeah, it don't be the part or the sum total. It's what's coming. Sum total. That's a mathematician. Is that gematria? Is somebody Jewish? Y'all doing gematria again? Oh my goodness. No, that's where it's a little box of numbers that come up to, I want to say like 36 or some shit. All of the numbers, when you add them up, it comes to that particular number. Yeah, it's like the matrix or the matrices. And if you learned about matrices and matrices, yeah, in math, that's how they created the. Okay, okay, hold on. No, because that's how they create it. It's based out of the matrices of the ones and zeros of what would compile a physical object versus what will compile of like a background object. Hey, I tell people where shit happens when I'm asleep. I can feel and hear everything. So but that's a part of the wisdom that comes into place with a person being gone. They don't have discernment. They no longer have to hold on to discernment or resentment. Oh, I'm hoping that means let's go a little bit deeper into this. Yeah, because with them being a ghost in the system, that nah, on Facebook that's gonna talk about on Facebook and all of these other fucking new age systems that's gonna talk about a legacy account. How a person can still upload and post that shit from, yeah, somebody else would do it. It's like, so what would happen is a person would inherit basically the account of the person that passed away. And if they wanted to, yeah, they could post or whatever, I guess, from that particular account. And sure, the person is dead. But so it's supposed to be a part of that whole upload thing that they had a while back with brains and shit, and how they could put the brain of another person in another person. That cloning shit, that whole lottery movie. If you've seen it, it talks about it. So there's that portion. Some of the other things that will be going on, from what I gathered, from what I gathered, know where you are in your journey, know where you are in your spirit. I'm a ghost, 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 ghost. I'm a ghost, ghost, ghost. Okay, let's shift over to the knowing more. No, because in some of the situations that'll come into place, if it comes out, it comes out in the cards. But if it doesn't, I'm not gonna really focus too much on it. But ultimately, in some situations that come place, speaking in the realm of endings, transitions, fades, deaths, all of that. Okay. Is going to be the aspect of, there are a lot of different ways that a person can transition from you. So be careful. Ouch. Oh, well, what you asked for and how you asked for it. Well, those flew over there. I'm not finna go pick them up. Anyway, so the main thing we need to pay attention to is the discernment, clear vision, and details. No, the wind blew that one away. So I ain't finna, I'm not finna change it if the wind blew it away. What the fuck? That's craziness. Poppycock and rubbish. Poppycock and rubbish. Why chase something that's been thrown away, that's been blown away from you? Some of that is going to be in regards to, we always talk about our true north and true south, but what's to the east of you and what's to the west of you? When you find your center, like on your birth chart, when you find your center, what's to the east and what's to the west? You know what's to the north, you know what's to the south. Yeah, what's your east and what's your west? Okay, I don't know what that's about, but alright. Alright, so when not being heartbroken, when not being emotionally intelligent. That's the way this is being talked to. Okay, not being emotionally intelligent. Okay. And not being an opportunity. One of the things that was coming to me, I didn't know how to really word it at the moment though. It was about how a person would assume that they're an option when it's not up to them to decipher if they're an option or not. It's up to the person that would be perceiving them. So that's it. Yeah, sure. No, because I've been looking at the Seven of Cups and not being an illusion and all this other shit. The main thing that comes into place, right, with options, whether this is stock, whether this is people, whether this is with Saturn essence, agriculture, it doesn't matter. You have to do research on the stock to see if it matches your gut instinct as well as your heart instinct. In short, you got to be in alignment in your solar plexus and your heart chakra in order for you to make a reasonable process. Yeah, it is the same thing with gambling. Like, yeah, because one of the things that I noticed that happens with gambling, I know it's happened with me before. If your body light up when you're around a particular machine, that was something that I noticed that would have happened before in my life. And then the other one, yeah, I never did cards though. I ain't do cards though. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there. I don't do the cards. Yeah. No, it ain't about being scared. It's more so a matter of, I don't know how many people know who I am, and I don't need nobody escorting me or escorting me out. Because in the underground aspect, yeah, now we get to the underground portion, or the what isn't necessarily an upheaval on the top, but is it shakes things up on the bottom, right? That what they call it, the sacral chakra and the root chakra aspect. So the lack of emotional intelligence that come that within one's isolation and not being friends and offering an apology. Yeah, it's giving a whole frenemy situation. Part of it. The other part of it is what it is that goes on when you look inside and you see the heartbreak of a friendship. Heartbreak of a friendship. That'll be, yeah. The other portion of it is gonna be about 3 days of introspection. 3 days ago there would have been some introspections that would have came into place. The irony that came from this is the cards. Whenever the cards come out, they tell a whole lot to me, and it technically would be seven, right? It would be seven cards that would have been on the table, but then them two blowing away, that'll be the two cups. In short, what is love and what isn't love, and what is business versus what isn't business. Yeah, and the lies motherfuckers tell. I'm not finna go into that. So it's that part. The other portion of it is gonna be what's been going on with me. Oh, I've been good. I'm good, y'all. I'm straight. I knew I had to do this reading like 4 days ago. 4 days ago, actually. But I was like, damn, that means I gotta clear a whole bunch of shit up. I gotta straighten a whole bunch of shit out. Yeah, because I had to cleanse my cards. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to cleanse my cards, y'all. Side note. So yeah, that in short, I've been taking care of what needs to be taken care of. In short, I've been minding my own damn business. I mind my business. I mind the business that pays me. Mine. I do what I'm supposed to do. It be too early in the morning to know what somebody else is doing sometimes for me, okay? So I have reliable sources that I check in with so they can tell me what's going on. And yeah, I stay connected, but I'm also watching. Yeah, if you're an intuitive and you know anything about me, I do watch a lot of the different readings to see if people are doing spell work and such on you all, because there's, yeah, sometimes you can see the strings, literally, sometimes you can see the strings. Other times on the videos, it looks really, really fuzzy, even if they have a clear camera. Oh, and this is Uranus as a projection, right? Yeah, with radio and things of that nature. In short, it allows for you to just see whatever it is you need to see while you're listening. So in any event, I do be watching to make sure that y'all okay in that regard. Yeah, so there's it. Outside of that though, and it's Pisces essence. The Virgo Pisces axis, ladies and gentlemen. The Virgo Pisces axis, as it's been manifesting. Now, here's the deal that kind of comes into place with this. There should have been a lot of identifiers. If you've really been studying and trying to identify different synchronicities and things of that nature, yeah, this is the mechanical portion that'll come into place with your mind as things will manifest. And it's going to depend on what your spiritual contract is in that regard. But if you pay attention to how things would manifest, oh, okay. Oh, not being a child, being a teenager. Oh, so healing the inner teenager. Oh, that's what y'all doing. I sure as hell hope so, because some of y'all inner teenager is a motherfucker. Oh, that was a download that I got. Okay. But still. Oh, and if you're a teenager when you pass away, oh, that's unfortunate. Or when you transition. Okay, that's a lot of different situations that could go on with that. Yeah, because if you're a teenager and you want to transition, by the time you're grown, you should still want to transition. You shouldn't have to do it right away. Stop rushing shit. Stop rushing shit. Everything, you ain't from Russia, so bitch, why you rushing? You want my belt juice. Ooh, I was looking for that on that picture, y'all. Stop rushing. Alright, and then there being the indecision. Or not this indecision, but one not being stuck. Yeah, how it is that one wouldn't be stuck. Get a clear view. Clear views. That's a good yeah. Oh, now on the alchemical aspect, it'll be about knowing about one being heartbroken, and on the spiritual or in the contractual aspect, it'll be about 2 days with one's impulses. 2 days of impulse and are being disappointment. That's that portion. The other portion of it is May. What and July. Okay, so let me go ahead and say this. Yeah, it's coming out. What it is that goes on in May, or how one may I, Mama may I, Mama may I. No, cause it would have came out as Mama Mia, but it's Mama may I. Okay, and then the angelic or the alchemical aspect that comes into place with one not being disappointed, not being an abundance of emotion, and not walking away. Yeah, and sure what it is to be an alchemist. Y'all think that y'all think that the shit is only done in fucking. I'm glad I didn't see none of this, but no, because what it's telling me is it's a lot of water magic and shit that will be going on. Leave Oshun the fuck alone. Leave the mermaid, leave them alone, cause y'all will put y'all already. How you gonna fuck with the mermaids on the spiritual side and Oshun and shit, but your ass won't say nothing or speak up about the way that they did shit with Flint or the way it is they fucking with our water. And some of this, of course, is gonna be about the whole ice situation. That's not my business. Yeah, when it comes to the whole ice situation, everybody know that they wrong and they violating everybody's human rights. So it is what it is. So hey, y'all put that motherfucker in office. I'm just saying. In any event, and the delusions. I know part of it, yeah, how one would stand on what's real about the delusions that would have come into place with being an alchemist. Yeah, because part of it in the Uranus aspect as well, it'll be about the book, The Alchemist, and which character it is you identify with. Part one, part two. It's also going to be in regards to the positioning of your life. And if you started off, or if you read it multiple times, you started off as a little boy, well, by the time you read it again, you should be able to identify with a different character. Which character do you identify with? Because some of y'all, from what I'm seeing, is it's the old man at the glass shop. Yeah, because it'll be about the whole, not because somebody must have made a little smart ass comment about the whole bull in the china shop. I've been saying this shit for a while, and it's typically not for me to say. And the reality of it is, I act like I try to be Ferdinand, but you motherfuckers turn me into goddamn me Book of Life. Please pay attention to that. You did that. That was all you. I've been saying for I don't know how long, even when I was on Facebook. And I know that's where a lot of people came from. So in any event, I love you too. But yeah, a lot of this shit came from Facebook. And the fact of when you allow yourself to step outside of the humdrum and you actually see how it is people move, when you're trying to plan and look at what it is you need to do better moving forward, right? Yeah, so pay attention to the way it was that you used to think as a teenager versus how it is that you would think now. Whether or not you use your discernment as a teenager, part of the reason why you may not have used it as a teenager would be because you may not have known what it was, or you may not have had it. But if there's any type of knowing more, which means that you know that discernment and intuition and all that shit is required for whatever you got going on, yeah, which is damn near every fucking job is just a different form of intelligence. In any event, if you knew that, then you would have, yeah, you will understand, right? Yeah, whether or not you would be an option, or whether or not something is an option. I'm gonna grab one of these Journey of Love cards because I'm pretty sure it's going to tell me about which aspect or avenue. So far it's given the placements of Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Not necessarily the Virgo aspect, and the difference between when you look inside before versus you looking inside after. If you're a problem solver or a solution seeker. Solution seekers typically already know what the problem is, and they looking for a resolution for that problem as well as others. Problem solvers, they take it as it comes. Yeah, because if you see that one solution works very well, then why would, yeah, go ahead. I get, well, pause. Man of the earth, woman of the sky. Yep, I knew an angel of Jupiter awakening, the overall essence. A lot of this information would have came out through the tarot of dreams and within the creations of shit, right? And it would have been the angel of Jupiter awakening card would have been on the table. In short, the universe telling you it's gonna be about what took place within the higher knowing of within knowing more about how one can alchemicalize. I can't ever say that wrong. That word. Alchemicalize energy and at what level it is they do it best at. Yeah, some people are just acclimated to do bigger things than others, right? Some are better at doing smaller things. Fun fact, my granddaddy used to call me a smart dummy. This is why. The harder stuff, and yeah, I got the nickname Calculus too from my youngest daughter's dad side of the family. They call me Calculus because I could look at really difficult problems and solve it with no problem. But you give me a more simple problem, yeah, my mind has to, it's like it reboots and shifts the information to find exactly where that type of problem is and if I have it stored in my memory bank or not. And then yeah, the hard in short, the when you're acclimated to do harder things versus doing quote unquote softer things, but you have a soft approach to how it is you handle the hard things. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. One bite at a time. You're not gonna try and just engulf it. Your mouth ain't that big. And you do it over time. It's not just one bite at a time, but doing something over time. Yeah, it's giving that whole like pushing a rock up a hill. So that would be about some stuff going on in Rock Hill. No, no, some stuff that went on in Rock Hill or would have taken place in Rock Hill. Oh my goodness. What's in Rock Hill? That's gonna be different for everybody. I'm trying to think about what's in Rock Hill and in St. Louis though. Ain't that where the Italians have their restaurants and stuff? Anyway. Whew. Okay. So there's that. And how it is one moves around. So in any event, let me finish that and then I can get off of this. Ultimately, what it's given is what it is that happens. I had turned this out all death. Somebody would have died in Rock Hill. Oh, my condolences. That sucks. Business. Oh, so a business died in Rock Hill. I mean, I stand on what I said. My condolences. I know what it's like when your baby dies and when someone's killing your child. All your little dreams and hopes just going down the fucking drain after you done worked so very hard. So hard to make sure you had everything decent, in order, in alignment. You would have went to the different spaces. Yeah, would have gone to the city hall to make sure you had your paperwork together. You would have did everything. And for your baby to die or get killed all because somebody with a little bit more power and strength than you decided they wanted to do a hostile takeover. absolutely saddening. I promise you it is. But like I said, my condolences. All right. No, that'll be in regards to Mars. That's what happens when you apply Mars. Yeah, because Mars and doing love spells with businesses, I've said this several times before now. When you do love spells over businesses, you can always run into the fact of if you don't have the right employees, yeah, you don't have the right staff. Damn, the wise woman of Wonderland, integrity and compromise. Yeah, what it is to have integrity. And take away one's integrity. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Don't do that, y'all. That's horrible. No, because some of it was about wanting a person to have FOMO and all this other stuff. You want to know what is interesting about this whole situation? There would be the expectation that I would take a whole bunch of pictures of a whole bunch of different places, and the reality is, I did stop doing that. I did. I did. I did. Because I told y'all to stop fucking playing with me, and nobody listened. Everybody wants to keep playing fucking games and doing all this unnecessary dumb shit. So I was like, you know what? I can show you better than I can tell you any and every day of the week. I'll show you better than I can tell you. I'll show you I'm not doing it. I ain't got to say nothing. I'll just show you. All right, so it said, planets. One of the other things that kept coming to me is The Color Purple, the movie The Color Purple. I said, hell no, Miss Millie. That's something that's been coming out a lot. Yeah, it's been out for a nice little second. Sun, coming through what sign? Okay. Can I get just one? Sun coming through which sign? Thank you. You gotta straighten up. Straighten up. Sun in Aquarius. Gotta straighten up. Straighten up. Watch your posture. It's about how your posture. I was thinking about that too. I'm so serious. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a whole lot. I was like, I'm postured as a wife. Get the fuck out of here, you weird ass people. You're not finna be doing all this. I heard, was that your realization over the years? It was my realization over the years, because I know it was one of those, this motherfucker know how I feel about him, and you kissing bitches in front of me and all this other shit. It wasn't just him, because you'll be amazed what it is that God Goddess will show me. Just because you may not have been in my physical presence, I would have been able to see what it is that would have been done. That's why I made the decisions it was that I made and move the way I did. I like for people to think I'm stupid. I do. I like for them to think I'm stupid. I like for them to think that I'm naive. Because you get the prime opportunity to see who that person really is and how they really are. It ain't even about them being able to tell you nothing. It's more so about they gonna be their most authentic self because they think you're not gonna see them. So Sun in Aquarius in the first house. So pay attention to what's in your first house aspect, whether or not it's humanitarian. It's a humanitarian sign as a reaction, or just off the rip. The other thing is within Aquarius being in the first house is going to be a matter of you viewing everyone else over viewing yourself. You could refer back to that post that I made, or it was either a post I made or something I said in one of the lives about being self-centered, not in the bad way, but being self-centered versus being humanitarian-centered. And sure, when you have to think of who you are when you think about yourself versus who you are when you think about on the humanitarian scale, and knowing your position in the world. So understanding your positioning on both of them. Yeah, and sure, it ain't always what it look like or feel like. So is that. Uh, when you narrow it down to the whole self-centered, feeling like the world is you. You are the world, or you are my world. Nah, what it's giving is when I went to karaoke and the song "You Mean the World to Me." Yeah, I couldn't sing that fucking song. I couldn't sing that song when I was hearing stand up in the background. It's like, nah, okay, so somebody on some weird shit. So I'm finna fuck this song up as much as possible. As much as possible. Yeah, because it would be intended on being an oath to whoever that particular person or that work it is that working would have been done. And sure, yeah, make sure you pay attention to all those different things that can or will happen. Now, the other portion of this, right, with the sun being in Aquarius, we're in the time of Aquarius. And what it is that you would know or understand about Aquarius essence, okay? The whole detachment aspect that comes into place with them, but also do you understand what it looks like when they're attached to you? So knowing the difference between that. Then last but not least, it'll be about how do you view what constitutes as the shadow side or the darker side of humanity. So it's that part. And whether or not you've allowed yourself to adjust with the sun, because the sun, it did its little polar shift thing. Yeah, and sure, when it comes to the sun and that being an identifier for Leo, your recognition fiery and rah, or is your recognition subtle? Yeah, or what people would constitute as humble. I recall saying this a few times. Just because a person is humble doesn't mean that you have a right to humiliate them. So understanding that portion. All right. So the creation of your vision of who you are, that's the spiritual aspect. Yeah, y'all gonna really need to, first and foremost, one of the things that is that I encourage people to do is to find out who you are in relation to the world, right? Yeah, in relation to, and when I say the world, it's gonna be about the ending of the cycles or what kind of cycle you're even in, right? Yeah, because not everybody is on the fool's journey. For your own personal touch of clarity, you are more than welcome to email lightworkandlightworkllc@gmail.com. All right, and in the mental, so the different thoughts and things you want to focus on is the gaining of respect for or from what's new and different about your desires. And sure, now, because one of the things that was coming to me is you gonna learn to respect me. You gonna learn. No, because that's the whole mothering aspect. That's why Venus right now, yeah, and whether you're the type of person to lean and depend on one's mothering nature versus one's nurturing nature, and what it is you would have wanted to get out of that situation. So pay that some attention. And then last but not least, things brought to life or light, use an unconventional way and within your actions. In short, you're gonna have to learn, yeah, look at things from the opposite perspective and pay attention to what you bring life into. What do you feed? Which wolf you feed? That's the real question. Which wolf you feeding? The negative wolf gonna eat all the damn time. Trust me, it's more than enough out here for it to eat. But the positive wolf, okay, but the positive wolf, right? What do you feed it? Or is it gonna just fucking starve? Or are you gonna let the negative wolf just consume the positive wolf? You need both. Whether you like it or not, yeah, you need both. So yeah, grandfathers. Yep, that's from the grandfather's aspect. Oh, who is that? Hello. 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 Yeah, that So, and if you know your grandfather totem pole, I didn't see any animals come up for real. But no, I've been seeing animals in my own life. Yeah. No, because those were my confirmations. I don't need to tell nobody else. If you want a confirmation about what's going on in my life, then you need to email lightworkaintlightworkllc@gmail.com. But yeah, so that's not being standoffish. That's your damn problem. You motherfuckers too invasive. Don't be invasive, essences. I'm doing my spirit work and anchoring it. Something that you're not even trying to do because you too busy trying to do extra shit. Plotting and planning on somebody's life other than your fucking own. Anyway, we're not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Pause. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm tired of having to set boundaries. So if I gotta cuss a whole lot, then yeah. Because y'all be invasive. I just got out of one fucking assignment, and here y'all are trying to, what's your next one? That's not your business. It's not your business what my next one is. None of that is your concern. Because in the end times, I'm the one who gonna have to be responsible for whether or not I did it. And I can't say, but they made me. You can't say, but they made. You can't say that. That's not a good excuse. That's why you get to the age you get to. All right. Nope. The problem that comes with it is people don't understand actions. They don't see when a person just acts in that space, that mind frame. They want them to say it. And that was part of the whole Lilith readings aspect that come into place. Yeah, when a person is considered bossy based off of their actions, I don't need nobody to tell me to move around. I just do it. And by the time they would even have formulated the 2 words of move around to come out of their fucking mouth, I would have already did that. So yeah, and they would have been invasive. How the fuck you gonna tell somebody? How you gonna invade somebody's reality to tell them to move? Get the fuck out of here, you weirdo! Y'all do too much. Y'all do too much. But all right, so I'm hoping everybody's doing okay. Oh no, I don't care about any of those messages that would have caught themselves making it through on the wind or through emotion, or I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know why? Because I'm not there. The best thing that comes into place with spiritually healing yourself, all right, and truly walking in there and sticking to it. It's one thing to say, oh, I want to be healed, I want to heal, or I want this, I want that, I want that, but it's a whole nother thing to actually walk in it and just do it. Those are 2 completely different things. Like Nike, like Nike. Don't get me started on Jordans. I don't like Jordans. I don't like Jordans. We're not doing. I don't like Jordans. Excuse me. But yeah, I hope that helps you guys out just a little bit. Hopefully, the next reading will be a little bit better. Yeah, and more informative, because a lot of the other essences can just go ahead and shake. They can shake the spot. Yeah, in my essence and in my energy. Cause this moon magic, y'all do too much. Y'all be doing too much. Yeah, how you gonna do moon magic and your emotions ain't intact, and neither is your Lilith? Y'all Lilith placements are shot to shit. Yeah, so anyway, like love to you all, okay? Cause see, remember, light work, it ain't like work. It is not light work. It's not light work. And that's why you have to stay like while you work.